Hey guys, I'm back. I know I was MIA after the first two videos I gave you, but I've been recuperating from taking my summer classes and just having some chill time and getting back into the swing of things and doing something that I actually want to do, which is talk about sports. So, with that being said, the big news out of the sports world today is the Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs got together today and completed a trade that I like for both sides. The Chicago Cubs acquired left-handed pitcher Jose Quintanta for 4 minor league prospects, including the Cubs' number 1 prospect, Eloy Jimenez, an outfielder. Let's start with the Chicago White Sox. You wouldn't think this would be obvious because he's been their ace for so many years, but this was necessary because they're continuing the rebuild process, or as some like to call it, the retool process. And with this trade, they've amassed another top prospect, giving them 8 out of the top 100. So they are on their way, just as the Houston Astros have done, Chicago Cubs themselves have done, and many other teams are trying to do. So, this trade just makes complete sense from the White Sox perspective, and it's definitely put a steep price tag for starting pitching in this year's trading market, because the Cubs gave up their last 3 top 100 prospects in this deal, but it was a necessary trade for the Cubs as well because they are running out of controllable pitching that they can rely on. And despite Jose Quintana's 4-8 record with nearly a 5 ERA, I think this is a good fit for them because he has 3.5 years of control, and the Cubs definitely need that. They have many cornerstones, position players that they can build around, as we saw last year, finally breaking the curse. But the reality is, and is always going to be in baseball, you will never have enough pitching, and controllable pitching at that. So this gives both organizations a shot in the arm that they need to continue to build towards championships and towards continuing again in both situations. The Cubs are just clearly in a rock and a hard place, really, because they finally got the championship, but now they're getting older. Some of their players are getting older, and when you don't have a lot of controllable pitching and it's been inconsistent, you're not going to win ball games. And Jake Arrieta, and the impending loss of Jake Arrieta and possibly John Lackey, forced this move, the Cubs to have to make a move. And yes, they are underperforming and but this is what happens when you win a championship, especially in the Cubs situation when they've had so much pressure on themselves, 108 years, that whole shebang. So this just proves that the championship hangover, whether you win or lose, is real, and you have to stop the bleeding while you can, because there's no way a team can be as dominant as the Cubs were, because they just needed everything to go right, and it did. And now this year, there's been a lot more inconsistency throughout their pitching staff, bullpen, and their lineup. They even had to send Kyle Schwarber down, so they just needed a solid guy, a durable guy that will eat up innings and will take the ball decently deep into games. And this is what you get from Quintana, a durable, reliable veteran that understands his job, and despite his struggles, as I mentioned earlier this season, maybe a change of scenery and the championship mindset will give Quintana a shot in the arm, like I think he will for the Cubs organization as a whole. The White Sox, it's great for them. As I said, they're just getting richer in the prospect game, as I said earlier, and we're going to be talking about them very, very soon. I would say next year or the year after that, they will be perennial contenders in an AL Central that has been one of the weakest divisions this year, although it's starting to pick up now. But I think it will once again become one of the more competitive divisions once the Tigers realize that they need to retool and rebuild and figure that out. And the Indians are always going to be there, I think, because they have a pitching-rich organization, and some of their young studs have come up and solidified some spots earlier than thought. And the Royals, you can't kill them. You think they're going to rebuild this year, and then they just keep coming, and they will always be there. So this trade for the White Sox is necessary, and we will be talking about them for a while. I think this is unfortunate for the other contenders in baseball this season because it shows how steep the price is going to be for quality, of course. But I don't think it's been this steep in a while, because now the Cubs don't have any more top 100 prospects in baseball. They gave up their final 3 in this deal, and especially and it's a little more surprising because Quintana struggles with the long ball and just overall consistency this year. So it's very interesting and going to be compelling to see how the other contenders are able to build their teams into as we go into this playoff run for them. But honestly, I think it's worthy because finally teams are valuing prospects as much as they should and giving and understanding whether they are winners now or they need to retool. So I think it's important to realize that baseball is transitioning in a good way. I really like this trade from both perspectives, but I'm worried for the Cubs because now they don't have any top 100 prospects. Yes, you can replenish that, but you're saying you got 5 years, but if you don't have the pitching, your offense can only cover up so much. So I'm afraid they might have to go into a rebuilding, retooling situation even faster than they thought. I mean, the Cubs fans and the Cubs organization are going to be happy with the ring, and they're not going to care about prospects. But you see how they did it. You see how they built it up before. It was because of prospects. And my worry is that they're only going to contend for the next couple of years and have to rebuild again because they don't have enough quality arms to continue to contend. I just think it's a big deal, but this is a step in the right direction for both organizations. And this move also allows the Cubs to still spend and not be up against luxury tax and handcuffed by some of their contracts, because Quintana is under team control for, as I said, the next 3.5 years. So this is the first big fish to fly off the market. We'll see what other clubs are able to muster up throughout the month of July, and especially on the July 31st trade deadline is always one of my favorite days, because you don't know what's going to happen, but it's always fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will try to be more consistent with my postings, and tell me what you want to hear, because I can make it happen. So hopefully we will see more action and see what happens. Baseball is an unpredictable monster, and I'm excited to see what happens in the second half. However, I think it's clear it's going to be the Astros and the Dodgers in the World Series. Mark that down right now, but we'll see, and tune in next time. I don't know what my topic is going to be, but I'll try to make it something controversial and interesting.